We have, in a survey, found that 41% of all the jobs that you do are actually repetitive. And it doesn't really need the human touch that at the present moment you are doing. Now imagine if 41-42% of your time can be released by using agentic, how much more productive you would be, how much more efficiency you could bring to the job. Because when agents do it, they don't make mistakes. Repetitive jobs are the ones where maximum mistakes are made. If the agent is doing it, there will be no mistakes because an agent doesn't get tired. And these jobs will get done even though they are repetitive. And again, if you look at the expectations, why are they overwhelmed? The workforces, they are overwhelmed because they are doing a lot of low-value jobs. There is a fixed capacity in the sense that a particular company can only hire so many people. Just because my wait time is 10 minutes and I have a capacity of 200 people in a call center, I cannot increase my call center to 2,000 people in order to reduce the customer wait time and give the customer a better experience. These are the places where agents come in really handy. Not only that, if I can release people from just doing repetitive contact center work into actually contacting human to human, how much more effective would that be? That is what we are aiming at when we are talking about this. And then obviously this results in a lot of burnout because they're not really getting challenged, they're just doing drudge work. Obviously there is burnout, there's a fall in productivity. What further the customers want, like I was saying, they don't want any hold time. How many of you have been, listening to music, and in fact some of them don't even put on proper music, they put on their own staff created music. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's pretty horrible, but they don't even want to pay for that, that's what they do, and you have to listen to that for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, God alone knows, 9 customers ahead of you, 5 customers ahead of you, and you're still holding. So they don't want any hold times, and they want whoever is talking to be the person who will solve their problem. They want that person to be an expert, they want that person to be empathetic to their problems, and they want things to happen instantly. So they might be calling at 11 in the night, 12 in the night from their bedrooms, but they want an instant solution because that's the only time they have in order to connect with you. They want you on 24/7. So many of these call centers, I know, support centers, work only during office hours. Office hours are when you are busy. How can you call them then? But for them also, they are office hours. How do I expand that in order to give you that customer satisfaction, which, by the way, was given by a lot of organizations when they went on the net, when you could order at any point of time, you could look at their products at any point of time and still get service. So today, those things can actually happen with any of the companies. So therefore, what is it that we needed in order to unlock scalability? And what is required is we needed what is called a breakthrough technology. Very often these breakthrough technologies do happen, and with AI and ML and with the agentic force, that technology has actually happened. Now, why are we talking about agent force so much? Because this, we believe, is a digital labor platform that is meant for limitless workforce. You don't have to limit your workforce to the number of people that you can actually afford. And it is easy to deploy. They can keep the humans in the loop. It's entirely up to you, and especially when you are putting it in and when you are testing it out, it is preferable that humans stay in the loop in order to understand how it is behaving. It doesn't have any hold time, and the main thing again is it's deeply unified, top to bottom. So the lags between various functions, they get taken out. And not only that, our stack is actually open. Open meaning that if you want to use an LLM of your choice, I might be using OpenAI, you don't want to use it, you want DeepSeek, or you want something else from Hugging Face, you want Claude, you want Gemini, whatever you want, you can use that particular LLM. Of course, remember that when we do an upgrade, we will do the connectors for a few of those. If you have used something that is totally your own, or something that's not very frequently used, you would still need to build that connector. But other than that problem, the stack is open. You can bring in your own large language model or whatever else that you want to bring it in. Our recommendation though is that our reasoning engine is very good. It's called Atlas, and we don't really think that people should be replacing that, but even if that is one of the requirements, it's an open stack. You can do what you like with it. Now, why do you think that we are pressing so much on this? Because, over the years, with the innovations that we have brought to the fore, we have seen enormous amount of customer success. And we have talked about just two companies over here, Jaipur Rugs, which is a small MSME, and Royal Enfield, which is a bellwether brand. Royal Enfield, by the way, does not identify itself as a two-wheeler company. It identifies itself as a customer experience company. Okay, what they have told us right in the beginning is, we are not asking you to build anything other than an experience. Because riding a Royal Enfield two-wheeler is an experience. We provide it as an experience, and that's what you need us to help create. And that's what we have done for them. So you look at 100% increase in customer engagement rates, and in Jaipur Rugs, a 30% increase in lead conversions. And we have shown you what all other ways, whether it be faster collaboration, faster time to insights, the marketing ROI, the faster development, whatever, the revenue growth, the IT costs, support costs, in every which parameter, and these are, by the way, across the board. This is an averaging out of the companies that we support across the group. This is not only Indian data, okay? Now, if you look at it, this AI-led process for Godrej, what is it that we are hoping to achieve? And I'm not going to go very deep into that because I know Manish will speak about it in much further detail. But what we are really trying to do is build a future-ready, agile system. I know that there are a lot of people that are sitting on the fence and asking what is the ROI that I will get from this? Is it mature enough for me to take? But you should imagine that you are a passenger when a train is entering the station. The practiced commuters will simply dive into the coaches even before the train is at a complete stop. Okay? But if you're doubting whether this train is going to take you to your destination, you will hold back. But when the train is at full speed, you won't be able to get onto it unless you really make an effort. So my take on this is that you need to understand that the journey has to begin somewhere. It is good to begin the journey now. You can start with small way. You can start with 2 use cases. You don't need to do the entire stack immediately. See whether you are getting value out of it, and then take it forward from there. Just like the internet age, the dot-com bust, there are a lot of naysayers. Somebody says this is a magic wand for everything. Somebody says it's all sheer nonsense. It's neither. Okay? There is hard work involved in order to get it up to speed, and humans will have to do that. But once it's up to speed, you will then begin to realize the ROIs. Once you have really deployed it and allowed people to use it and train it and tune it, you can see the ROI. With that, I will hand it over to Manish to give us a better understanding of how we have partnered with them and what they are hoping to achieve with this AI journey. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you again for coming. Just I think excitement around technology is such that I cannot imagine 10 years back 2 companies partnering to upgrade. Once technology would be an event worth celebrating, और किसी को बुलाए तो आने की वजह भी शायद ना होती. Just before I start, while all of you are familiar with Godrej, there's an interesting for us quite special that we are that I'm sharing the stage with Arundhati ma'am, and largely for an interesting reason. In 2020, when you joined Salesforce, is also when Godrej Capital started. So while the group is a household name you've known, we are the newest business in the Godrej group. I have only two slides. First one is just a small introduction of us. We are the financial services arm of the Godrej Group. We have two companies today within Godrej Capital, Godrej Housing Finance, Godrej Finance. And all the products जो हम करते हैं basically are driven in two buckets. In our non-bank, in our NBFC, our focus area is small businesses and helping small businesses grow their businesses. And in our housing finance company, as the name suggests, entire focus is making home ownership easier. So in the last end of 2020 हमने launch किया, तब से लेके अब तक over the last 4.5 सालों में we have been able to come close to now 20,000 crores of asset book. Today, I think it's become much easier, and technology has played a great role for us in a short period of time to be able to cover the country, even though we have only 50, about close to 60 physical offices, soon to become 100 in the coming year. And we have a range of products that are spread across these two companies, but main अपना focus है small business को आगे बढ़ाओ and help with home ownership in the country today. I have only one, my key slide for today is this, and the reason we are here and the reason for this partnership is that increasingly almost all of you, everyone in this room is a customer of a financial institution, bank, salary account kahin to jata hai when you borrow. And in most cases, as a customer, as a partner, as a user, frankly, you don't care what the technology is, you don't care aapka process kya hai. The only thing that matters to you is, isse mera fayda kya hoga, how does it make my life easier? So I just thought I'll take 5 minutes why this partnership has to do with as late entrants to this industry. हमारे आने से पहले there were a good 20, 30, maybe even more providers to customers in the businesses that we are in. But we have seen that when we think about keeping the customer first and then design technology around it, even when in a crowded market, even when अपने को लगता है कि these are many commodity businesses, there is so much work yet to be done where you can make life simpler for customers, you can innovate, and only tech allows you to innovate. We were having a conversation, and Arundhati was talking about financial inclusion is spoken a lot about today, but it's not like 25 saal pehle iska attempt, this was not being attempted. Everyone wanted to do it, but it's only after tech-powered Aadhaar, it's only after everyone has a mobile phone that it became easier, whether it's direct subsidy transfer, whether it is how we battled COVID. Also, one more thing that happened in 2020. So I'll give you a few examples of how you can use, or how we have attempted to use technology, and how there is so much more for us to do. I'll pick few examples from this. One of them was what today makes it much easier for so many home buyers to buy a home, which is to be able to design how I pay you, how much I pay initially, how much I pay later, to what we call design your EMI, but it's basically being able to use technology to build flexibility. Flexibility in how you take the loan, flexibility in how you pay it back. Before this, the assumption always was that सब कुछ standard रहता है. I take it all one shot, और फिर देने का एक ही schedule रहता है, and that's how it works. But if you can, and I'm happy to talk more about it, but there are so many opportunities. This is one such thing. Traditionally, what has always been the case is if you want to serve the customer fast, you compromise on credit quality. You do not look at enough information. अगर जल्दी करना है तो you have to say ये छोड़ो, ये करने की जरूरत नहीं है, इसको देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Traditionally, the only way to do quick credit disbursals, same day credit access, was don't do some of your processes. Now actually and one of the big reasons for our partnership with Salesforce is this ability that I should be able to pull information fast, ढूंढने की जरूरत नहीं पड़नी चाहिए. It should be able to come to me, I should be able to use many more data points, and I should be able to do same day credit access, same day decisioning, same day disbursing loans to business customers. Again, approvals, and I just in how we can use, and we are still learning. Like many organizations, all of us are subjected to the same hype cycle. Some days we are given information, or you feel like lots is happening in the world, और हम पीछे रह जाएंगे. Other times you are wondering that it costs a lot. The investment करना, is it a good ROI? But we are starting to see in whatever pilots we do, whatever usage we do. I'll give you one or two examples. Today, the calls that we are talking about, where you have a customer call, traditionally you have to make note of few of those calls and see कि भाई अच्छी तरह से बात करी कि नहीं, did we solve the customer's need or not, and वो sample पे होता है. You have 100 calls, all 100 calls you can't listen into. One simple example where with this you can summarize all 100, every single one, and with the use of tech you can check कि भाई ठीक से बात करी कि नहीं, tone ठीक था कि नहीं, did it sound like customer was satisfied or not just exactly the same things that you would do when you listened in great detail. Anybody here has taken a home loan? Anyone has bought a home using money? So very often among the challenges is that I buy it in parts. मुझे builder को भी I have to give money in parts. Very often I have to follow up at the time. First I have to follow up with my lender, then I have to follow up with the builder, then I have to make sure कि भैया ये इसका construction stage ठीक चल रहा है, is my money going too fast? So many of these things are irritants to customers. But if you try to solve these problems as we have tried to do in how we disburse tranches, how we make money available to the developer, developer should not have to ask and follow up. Customer को भी वो सब करने की जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए. We are far from perfect, but we can see how partnering, how using tech better, how using the front-end partnership that we have can make it better for us to do this. And काफी सारी चीजें हैं, but the ultimate proof of this is always customer score क्या मिलता है. At the end of the day, whether there is a new customer, existing score, existing customer, what scores customers give us. So this is why we've been very, very excited, for this partnership. Like I said, in the last almost 30 years, I have never seen so much excitement around what new technology can do for a company. I think 20 years back, if we had a conference where we wanted to discuss a technology and financial services partner, I don't think it would be interesting enough for you to even be here. So, we're really looking forward to this. We're really excited. And all of us are learning, but I read a quote, or I read a very interesting data point, which I thought was a great explanation for how tech is changing our lives and a partnership like this works. So there's this, whenever a new technology comes, again, we were having a conversation where 30 years ago, jab PSU Bank, when computers came, so first there were strikes across and there was lots of opposition. I read a very interesting line, and I hope we can also implement this in our company as a result of this, of using tech better. So when there were horses driving carts, so when cars came, there was a great, obviously the first thought was in Godo ka kya hoga? So it turns out today there are more horses than there ever were before the cars came. So far from actually horses becoming extinct, actually the number of horses have multiplied. It's just that वो literally वो घोड़ागिरी नहीं करते. And what they used to be used for, they are not anymore, and they are used for recreation purposes, or they are used for tourism, or they are used for other things, not to carry people around. So our equivalent of this is in anything that we do, including very importantly this partnership, is not that कल तक इस चीज के लिए 100 जन लगते थे, अब 10 लगेंगे, शायद वो सच है. But actually a greater opportunity is with the same 100 people we can do 3 times the work, and they can stop doing some of the really boring work, mundane work. In our life, for example, अगर आप customer हो and you call saying loan statement चाहिए, इसका ये schedule चाहिए, वो वाली चीज ये जानना है, you really don't need a person spending time doing that. Neither are you interested. As any customer, all you're interested in is get my job done. मुझे एक सवाल था, उसका WhatsApp पे जवाब दे दो. I don't need a question and answer. And at the same time, as a company, there really should not be a need to get more and more people doing that. When we move people away from doing that, we can get people, to the point we were making. Very often, we are so busy doing internal stuff कि customer आ भी जाता है. We were talking about a hospital patient आ जाता है, तो ऊपर उठ के देखने की फुर्सत नहीं रहती है that what is this person want to बोल क्या रहे हैं, चाहते क्या हैं. If we can use this to become much better in saying, I have more time to speak to you about what we can do for you rather than for basic things. This is the start of using technology genuinely to make customers' lives better, our employees' lives better. So we are very excited. Thank you again, everyone, for coming, and thank you for this partnership. We're looking forward. Thank you.
Arundhati ma'am and Manish for having us here. So I'm Ashwin Dalal, I'm from Deloitte. And while Godrej Capital goes on this journey and Salesforce is the partner of partnering with them or enabling the journey, we are working with both of them to actually get this implemented on the ground, right? Manish, you spoke about the ambitious plan that you have, and every form of ambition needs some form of support, right? And an ecosystem that can really help you, right? And I think that way you're in the right hands with Salesforce, because we also are customers of Salesforce, and even in our journey they have played a significant role, right? So that's about, I mean, and this whole exercise is about building the ecosystem. You were so right in saying that at the end of the day, when we have an ecosystem like this, we can actually let ourselves go and meet our clients, who are the ones who are actually the reason for our growth. Our customers are the reason for our growth, and creating a platform like this enables everybody who's on the field working with the clients to spend more time with the clients, understand them better, and hence grow the business, as opposed to, like ma'am you said, doing the routine, mundane stuff, collecting the basic information that is required. So we at Deloitte very strongly believe that, Deloitte Digital orchestrate everything customer, but I think we really believe that when it comes to a customer experience, it's not just about the experience of the individual, but generally everybody around. It is elevating the human experience that matters, and I think that's what we are trying to bring on the table when we are working with you here. Right? I think one of the key is, how do you reimagine the journey of the person who is on the field, right? It's not easy to be on the field. You have to deal with your customers, and customers have their own sets of requirements, and you also have to cater to an organization set of requirements. So how do you kind of reimagine the journey to make it simpler? How do you make the lead to application process very simple? How do you make sure that the information that you have to fill becomes much more simpler, right? I think that is what we really kind of focused on in trying to, for example, if there are pre-existing customer types, can we get certain set of information much easier? Can we integrate that into different systems so that we get a better view of when filling the application, can it be done a bit faster? I think those are things that we are really looking at. And also, I mean, I think one of the things that always happens in your business is credit is a very important thing, and to assess credit, like when you were saying earlier you used to take a risk which was much higher because you wanted the customer, so hence the process you take a back seat. But can we integrate all the data sets and give you the right set of information upfront, so that the time taken in processing is something that can come down, and that's what the focus is. I think there were a lot of different platforms which most organizations use today. I think we managed to bring it all into the Salesforce platform in one view, so that whoever is assessing it can have a more informed decision right up front. I think that's something that we worked on. And also, how do you, over a period of time, transition to a single platform? Right? Everything that, can you do everything in one platform? And can tomorrow also, it's not just about what you do today, it's about how you scale. And I think the advantage of platforms like Salesforce is how they are just future ready, right? I think that's where you kind of benefit, and you're able to scale even for future. Simple thing, right? Today, application is being filled, right? That's the way we have implemented it. Maybe a year later, people don't even have to type, right? It's about go put it today. In fact, actually we have integrated it with video and all of that. But maybe tomorrow, a conversation might be able to fill the application that's there. I think those are the kind of things that we need to look at from a possibility. And every time such possibility comes, we cannot be looking at a new platform, right? I think that is where platforms like these are very powerful, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr.